Suresh Reddy ji.
Thank you, Vice Chairman, sir. Deputy Chairman, sir, my apologies. After the Vande Mataram debate, the House taking up the debate on electoral reforms is most welcome, sir, as it is reassuring to speak about the health of our democracy, a legacy that was handed to us not easily, but the one that was forged in the fire of sacrifice by our freedom fighters. It is the solemn promise of our Constitution that every citizen remains the true master of this republic. Talking about electoral reforms and the power of the ballot, I would take this honor to present before this House our own experiences from Telangana. The power of the ballot was clearly demonstrated to the nation by our leader, KCR ji, when the struggle for Telangana began, sir. Our struggle for Telangana for the last 14 years, where an unprecedented kind of dharnas happened. The women, the farmers, students, employees, every person in the society of Telangana fought for it. But the only important thing which could awaken the government of India, which could bring a sense of responsibility, was the power of ballot. And to quote the power of the ballot, sir, my leader KCR ji, to demonstrate that the will of the people is so clearly visible, he resigned twice as a member of parliament. He resigned twice from different regions of Telangana, so that the country gets a sense that it is not one particular region or one particular area. He resigned when he was not in power. Our party was not ruling in Telangana, neither in centre. But the courage of KCR ji, the trust he had in the belief of the ballot was so visibly demonstrated, sir. It is not only he, seeing his resignation, the people of Telangana compelled other political parties to resign, as that would demonstrate the kind of will which is prevailing there of the people. So this being the power of the voter, my leader and my party, we are very keen that every eligible voter of this country, every eligible citizen of this country should be enrolled as a voter, sir. So speaking on this, of course, a debate has been continuing. We support that electoral reforms are definitely a backbone for a healthy democracy. But to ensure this, the voter list, which should be accurate, inclusive and transparent. Large and diverse nation like us, Deputy Chairman, sir, need clean electoral rolls. That we totally agree. Having said that, we have to ensure that the registration updating to facilitate voting access for migrants, disabled, senior citizens, urban poor and people with limited documentation should be entitled for their voting rights, sir. Strict re-verification should not become a mechanism for exclusion. Ensure that no eligible voter loses their right to vote simply because accessing paperwork is difficult. Today, the government's initiatives of every state government and government of India, the ease of doing business, the ease of communicating. We have seen people through Me Sevas in Telangana getting their certificates all electronically. In an age like this, why is it a challenge for a person whose name has been removed from the electoral roll to get back into the electoral roll when he is an entitled citizen of this country? That should be the concern, and that should be the mechanism to be adopted, sir. So while the concern definitely is on the voters' exclusion, but then we should also be equally concerned about the percentage of voting. When we look at the voting pattern across the nation, we have noticed that it is only the rural people who tend to vote more than the urban. We notice that it is the poor people at the bottom of the pyramid who tend to vote more than the other middle class and the rich people. So what are the reasons, sir? I mean, we have seen that the people at the bottom of the pyramid, the poorest of the poor, for him, vote means his existence. His existence because he relies totally on the government. Hence, he goes there to vote. Whereas the taxpayer, the middle class, the other people, even though they are contributing to the country, it is their taxes. Out of every rupee he earns, 30 paisa, 40 paisa is going through taxes. So he also should be equally involved in the voting process. There should be an introspection amongst them. Of course, Election Commission of India has initiated various campaigns. We had Amitabh Bachchan, the superstar who has been campaigning, Shri Amitabh Bachchan ji has campaigned that the essence of voting, the need of voting. In spite of all this, Deputy Chairman, sir, we still feel that the voting percentage is still not rising to the desired levels. We have seen in local bodies. I was reading about a model in Gujarat when I believe Modi ji was the chief minister, where in municipal areas they tried to make voting compulsory. Voting compulsory may definitely not, in my opinion, not really come, we have not come to that level or that maturity enough. But having said that, there should be ways and means where voter should be entitled, not only entitled, but also he should be made sure that he comes and votes. This should be probably one of the main things to be taken up by the Election Commission, sir. But after voting, a voter doesn't mean just he votes and his job ends. We have to respect the voter. And what is happening in voting today, sir, once the election ends, then the drama begins. The biggest challenge what Indian democracy has been facing, in spite of two major constitutional amendments, has been the anti-defection. Anti-defection is the name of the game today, especially in smaller states, especially when the legislatures are small in number. This is where we have always been talking about the reforms in anti-defection, sir. I mean, I'm not trying to say this side or that side. Every one of us are equally responsible for the flourishing of anti-defection. So to ensure that the anti-defection is become watertight, I would suggest probably a committee from the Parliament side which would constantly look into the defection, how defection is evolving and ways and means of, cutting that. We're always talking about the judicial interference in Parliament, but the Supreme Court was compelled to interfere. When they said 3 months, within 3 months, you do the anti-defection decision, so that is becoming compelling now. And of course, why allow the court, which is already overburdened, to come into a jurisdiction which is purely the parliamentary domain? Why not have a committee and continue to take this up, sir? Because anti-defection, the manifestos what we give and do not deliver, this, in my opinion, is the real vote chori, sir. And we have seen way back, you must have noticed also, sir, that when Somnath Chatterjee was the Honourable Speaker, he had conveyed a session of all the speakers of the country on the right to recall. He felt that probably a right to recall could be one of the mechanisms where we can understand and see that whenever there is a defection, whenever the election manifestos, you are promising the sky but delivering nothing. So that is literally, kind of cheating the voter, in my opinion. These factors probably could come up in this, sir. Then, Deputy Chairman, sir, there has been a debate on EVM or ballot paper. Well, I've gone through ballot paper, I've gone through EVM. My experiences are not majorly different. I've seen in ballot paper time, one big leader saying, कि भाई 5 घंटे दंगा फसाद करो और 5 साल सत्ते में रहो. I mean, they were booth capturing. We have noticed all that. We have seen all that. From that, when the Election Commission tightened that booth capturing, then we have also seen how the political parties evolved as what we call it, the cycling of votes. कि भाई एक आदमी जाके वोट निकाल के बाहर लाता है, फिर आप उनको वही वोट दीजिए, फिर वो जाके डालते रहता है. So it is a circle. So where you kind of capture that. So these are the kind of issues which came up. So when we transferred into EVMs, what is the fate of EVMs? Of course, like the saying goes, our stand depends on where we sit. But even in the EVMs, there have been certain doubts which are coming out, sir. I have seen in areas, since the EVM is there, there are certain areas where you know that people will not vote for you, and those areas people are being stopped from not voting. So you see the percentage dropping in those areas. It is the ECI which should look into areas where if people are not forced to not to vote. So these concerns definitely are something which we would be looking in the coming days, sir. And finally, let me conclude on our party's view on one nation, one election. We know that regional parties tend to lose on one nation, one election. But my leader, KCRG, was very categorical. He said, he saluted the voter and he says definitely the voter has a sense to differentiate the regional election to the national election. So we support the one nation, one election theory purely because we feel too much of politics, especially at the grassroots, will definitely not augur well for democracy. Once an election is done, let it continue for 5 years. Whoever wins, whoever loses, let the country be governed. Let not further expenses be put upon the people of India. So with these words, sir, I thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, Shri K.R. Suresh Reddy ji. Dr. John Britas ji will speak in